And someone would come to you and their person feel the exact same thing, and you're like, Holy Spirit, this must be a joke.
And seeing as we've been talking about solutions, before we properly delve into the proper solutions, just wanted to ask, are there some misconceptions that you know about
pressure? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, parent might think I'm attacking you. I'm not. I'm actually not attacking.
I am
But
not.
I think the biggest misconception, and one that I've experienced, is that when you try to share what you're feeling, I don't think you can share the pressure, but to share the feeling that the pressure is causing to you, sometimes it's regarded as self-pity from friends, from teachers, like we did these things. What do you mean? These things are very simple.
In our day.
Yeah, in our days. I mean, like we used to walk to school, we used to do this, and guys, just a kind reminder. Things are actually not the same. I was actually talking to a friend, and I was telling him, I don't remember, it was a discussion, and we said the problems that a 12-year-old is facing in this generation, or a 10-year-old is facing in this generation, were actually the problems of an 18-year-old of our parents' generation. Like, kids are holding in a lot. And by the time an 8-year-old tells you that they've been exposed to a certain thing, and a parent cannot accept that, trust me, their parents will, a kid will tell mommy this and this has happened, or this is how I've been treated at school, and the parent is like,
John,
you're too young to know these things. But now I know these things, so I'm trying to share with you. And sometimes they do not understand, because yes, I understand we're in a different dispensation. Yes, that is true. And we have experienced a lot at a young age. But I feel like there's just a lot that is not understood. And the only way a parent can actually dive in and understand what their child is going through, or sometimes even a friend, because as I said before, sometimes you look for someone to share with, and there's no one. Because you tell them, trust me, after telling someone, and I looked stupid because it didn't make sense to them. I didn't even know how to put it. Like, I've never been there, and you're like, bro, I'm going through this, but like, you feel like in there's something you're not talking about. Like, I don't know how to express this, but this is what I'm going through. So there are very many misconceptions. Sometimes we are misunderstood. We are not heard. Tell a friend like, man, you get through it. And you're a pastor. And you're like, bro, like, I have come.
Yeah, man. Actually, thanks. That fixes everything. In fact, that's what I wanted to say. You know, how do I say this? Yes, we've just talked about running to God. Yeah, but running to God doesn't alleviate. Not alleviate. Wrong word. It doesn't mean no pressure will come. I think many times we think God is going to remove us from the pressure. And okay, I like listening to things on YouTube that teach me more about God in a very theological sense. My brother does not like those things. We are very different in that regard. But they were explaining why God chooses to refer to himself as a father more often than he would a mother. And they said it's because in many cases a father is going to, a mother is going to try and remove you from the pain because they don't want you to suffer, which is good.
True. I have seen it.
We need that. But sometimes also you just need to be removed from bad situations. But a father will comfort you but hold you and say, we are still going. We are still going to go. And personally, that's why I would always try to run to my mom to talk to about stuff, try to ask for things, because it's a little easier, whereas your dad will just straight up tell you, no, that's not how life works. You're a man, deal with it. But also when you talked about parents kind of feeling like our the things we go through, we make a big deal out of it. I think it's because many times many people have made a big deal out of nothing. True. Which is true.
No, we have seen examples.
Yeah, but like you said, we are living in very different times. I think the gap between how life was for our parents and how life is for us is quite significant. Because prior to us, like our parents, they didn't grow up in the age of internet.
True.
No, they didn't. They grew up and watched the internet be birthed. For us, we didn't necessarily also grow up with the internet being as available as it is now, but we did have access to the internet by the time we were like 13, 12. This was easier for us to access the internet. And then kids who are like 12, 10, 6 now, have grown up only knowing the internet. Yeah. So there's a difference in the generations that we're living in, and I believe when speaking to different generations, that should be taken into account. That yes, they might be complaining about something in a way that you see it and you're like, no, for you, why is this difficult for you? But the truth is, it's because that's how they've been raised. And we need to see it, I guess, the way Jesus would have seen it, because the way God talks to the Israelites through Moses is not the exact same way God talks through Jesus in the New Testament.
I am the law of Moses.
Because we love the chosen.
Yeah.
If you ever see this, we love you. But when God was speaking through Moses, it was very, very, very clear cut. Don't do this, otherwise
you're done.
Yeah, but Jesus, for him, when he came and they brought the lady who was caught in the act of adultery, he knew what she had done was wrong. Very, very wrong.
Very wrong.
But he handled it in a way that is very different, in a way that puts into consideration that this is a person who makes mistakes just like everyone else. And that's why he said, so if any of you have not sinned, please go right ahead and cast the very first stone. Which just goes to show the wisdom of Jesus, which I do believe should be applied. So even us, when we're dealing with people like Jerusha's age group later on in life, we shouldn't just attack them and be like, how comes for you don't know? Well, it's also because they grew up in a vastly different world than we did. Yes. Is there any other misconception you can think about when it comes to
regarding pressure? I think the biggest how should I say this? You know how in the past, our parents' generation, if you wanted a kid to do something, a disobedient child to do something, you'd cane them because they follow a certain instruction. And I feel like most times people think the best way to how should I say this, to get the best out of someone is actually to apply pressure on them, which I feel sometimes it's true, but you have to limit the extent of the pressure that you're putting on a child, on a friend, because sometimes you have, trust me, I think the thing that has failed me most from friendships is that people have expectations. Like, if you're my friend, I expect you to be here, I expect you, bro, you're killing me. Like, there are some burdens that people cannot carry at a go, that you need. I'm not saying lower your standards, no, but I am saying there are certain pressures you cannot put on a human being just like you. because we are not the same. As I said, it came as a shock to me that I'm a neurodivergent, other people are neurotypical. I didn't even know that. So you may say neurotypical people are people who can do with routine. Like they can get out of bed without thinking, brush their teeth without thinking, shower without thinking, then start thinking when the outfits come. I would get out of bed and sit and like, okay, enter the bathroom, I've forgotten my towel. Okay, get the towel, come back inside. Oh, I've forgotten the toothpaste. You get. But for neurotypical people, it just happens naturally. Unlike the neurodivergent, okay, it's a whole complex thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes we put a lot of expectation on our friends. Let me base this on our friends. We put a lot of expectation, which puts a lot of pressure. Me as a person, when I see things getting intense between us friends, like, I am going to bail out. That is me. Like, if you're trying so much to get me out of my comfort zone and all that, I'm like, bruh, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? I am not going to do with this. And I'm like, you know what? Swing back to my safe zone, back to my comfort zone. So sometimes it's better to handle people as they come, not to apply a lot of pressure on them. Like, me, I'm a person who goes out every day, so I expect you to come out with me every day. Bro, I might not manage what you are
So you
trying
have
to tell
the
me.
mornings?
Yeah, I may not manage what you're trying to tell me. So certain pressures are actually extreme. Yes, I know some pressures actually give birth to the best things. For example, gold, if it doesn't go through a furnace, then
The best quality.
it's a normal stone. But it has to be refined. And yes, sometimes pressure brings out the best out of us, but sometimes it crushes people. I have seen people who have been crushed and impressed by pressure. So I think we should study and know. Some pressures we don't have a choice. Some pressures we do have a choice. So some pressures we can decide and see and weigh. And like Jonathan, what can Jonathan take? Okay, in this friendship of ours. So if he can, be available at any time I need him, then that's okay. If he needs his space, then I'm going to give it to him to sustain the friendship that we have. So yeah, I think that's the other one I can think of. Yeah.
Thank you. Now back to solutions. So one we said sharing with someone, because when you have someone else who can reason with you, the pressure comes down. Then the other, which I think is the most important, is to go to God. God is number one. But the other solution I found, before I ask, are you a Marvel fan or DC fan? Does it matter?
I don't think it matters.
It does.
Okay, it does.
It doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter. I'm a Marvel fan. I've not watched all Marvel movies. It's very weird. But I like their productions better than Disney.
Anyways, so yeah, for us who like watching movies, reading comics, DC has a character called Batman. Yeah, I don't know what the equivalent to Batman is in Marvel, but DC has Batman. Now Batman fights alongside people like Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, who have superpowers, and for him he's just a normal person, right?
Yeah.
But
That's the guy.
But
yeah.
Batman, why he is so dangerous is, they say, if you give him enough prep time, he is able to defeat any enemy, right? So I think similarly in our lives, many times we are not prepared for things.
True.
And we go into situations unprepared, and because you're not prepared, you start to panic. You start to feel like, oh my God, am I going to do this? Am I going to do? And sometimes, yes, you can't prepare because it just happened upon you. But for things like going to university, things like the next step in your journey in high school, you have to prepare. The more you prepare, the less pressure you're going to feel.
Yeah.
Because if you have an idea of where it is you're going, you have an idea of what it is you're supposed to do, then even if something unexpected happens, you're not going to be as troubled as someone who had no idea, and for them they're just free flowing in this thing. That's why I would say it like this: if your car broke down, you would go into like a frenzy or something, right? Whereas if a mechanic was driving and his car broke down,
Those are normal things.
for him, you just be like, open the trunk, find out what is wrong. If it is a tire, change it. If it's something in the engine, sort it out real quick. If he can't, he calls someone.
Continue.
They will not be under such pressure.
Yeah.
Whereas for you can be like, what does this mean? And you stand there looking, and you just think like, oh my god, now I'm stuck.
Yeah, like
now
those
I'm
men
there.
are always walking. I'm like, okay, what's the basic for?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even as I believe, if we do our best to prepare for situations, because the Bible says, Paul tells Timothy, be ready in every season. I forget the rest of the verse, but basically he was telling him that the more prepared you are, the better it is for you, because when things come, you'll know how to deal with them.
Yeah, that's true. That's very knowledgeable. I think that goes back to what we like, okay, not what we like to do, but what our school systems are made up of, which are the examinations. It's another pressure that causes us to, for example, I asked my teacher, why do we really have to do papers? Like, I don't understand. And he said it's a progressive test to see if you guys have actually understood what a teacher has told. And an exam is a pressure that causes you to go back to your book and revisit and see what the teacher has been teaching, have I understood, and all that. And the preparation comes in when this pressure arrives, when the examination arrives. The preparation that you did, which is reading, prepares you. That people who are prepared are less pressured and anxious. For us, Jesus. There are times you have not prepared, or it's an abrupt test, like a pop quiz. Like, bro, I was not reading the whole month. What do you want me to do? And I think that explains the preparation very well. The examination setup. Yeah, examination is a pressure, by the way. To me it was.
It is.
To me it was.
I don't know for anyone who it was.
To
Never.
me it was. There are people that were out there.
The
whose
people
lives
whose brains are just for them.
Yeah.
Exams are
Easy
nothing.
things.
Into easy things.
Who like obstacles and tests? They're there.
I am not one of them. Bana. Okay, I am not one of them. But thank you so much for joining us here in the room. That's right, we have
The
visitors, we have guests. A room cannot just sit two people. So thank you. We have
Forward
another
your
one.
applications, please.
If you'd like to be a part of an episode, if you feel that you have something to say, if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. Thank you. It would be very nice for you to leave them in the comments. We love you.
Drop a like, subscribe.
This
Forward the links.
Banange.
Yes.
This is what makes her part of the best family, you know.
We need all the love, brother. We need all
need
the love.
all
If
the
you're a
love.
friend, guys, if you're a friend you watch, you don't like, you're not a real G, by the way. You're not a real G. You have to, you have to like, you have to subscribe, you have to forward, you have to post on your status, show us some love, like comment, at least an emoji. Guys, if you don't have words, we understand. Emojis came for you, such people like you and me, you know. Put an emoji, clap, cheer for us, shout, do something. You just do something to show love to this video.
Once again, you people need to find cousins like mine. Hype people, you people.
Yes, please.
Jesus Christ. But thank you so much. Till next time,
Yeah.
because she will be coming back.
I hope you're less pressured by the end of this video.
Thank you. We love you. Bye.
Bye.